7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Hello! It's Timeless Elite. Well, it's Wednesdays, and you know what that means. It is Timeless Elite Wednesdays. This is your PR princess, your Timeless Elite WWT with you. And yes, we're kicking off Dynamite. Aftermath of Forbidden Door, obviously, of course, Will Ospreay won the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament, and we see him with Jon Moxley. It's interesting because we saw Kenny in the mixture a couple weeks ago. He wants them to wear the patch of the Death Riders. Man. So he's an official member. Crap, I didn't think it would happen, but I do think there is something bound to happen. And it's crazy. I had in my bold predictions that Jon Moxley may get kicked out of the Death Riders. I put that as my bold prediction for the year, that he will be kicked out before the end of the year. And I knew Kenny was going to be upset. Especially the history you know with Kenny and Mox since AEW first started. Why do I have this feeling it's not going to be MJF and Ospreay? I think it's going to be Kenny, and it's going to be Kenny versus Will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium. He told Will Ospreay, even though he's given up on it himself. Oh, and lordy, MJF. And just remember, he's kicking off the show, him versus Mark Briscoe. I have a feeling it is going to be Kenny versus Ospreay at All In. I just have this feeling. With the fact the next pay-per-view Redemption is at Montreal, Canada. But at least Kenny says he cares and they're still friends after all this. At least they're still friends after everything with Will. It's going to be very interesting. As I mentioned, we are kicking off with the AEW World Heavyweight title. Mark Briscoe finally getting his opportunity against MJF. So, okay. But you're hanging out with me for 2 hours. Sometimes it's 2.5 hours. My shout out to Eddie Foster, Boza, Jeff Metterling, all of you in the chat for joining with me on this aftermath of AEW Forbidden Door. Obviously, of course, we do have Survival of the Fittest for the TBS title. And we also have the TNT Championship on the line. Kevin Knight taking on the Ring of Honor TV champion, Leo Rush. And we also, because there was actually a few bonuses I actually found out before I hopped on, because I checked out AEW socials. We are going to have some tag team action. We're going to have Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley take on the Swirls, Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. And we're also going to hear from the returning Switchblade Jay White after making his return and attacking his rival David Finlay. We're going to hear from him and seeing where they go. Just remember, Jay White was actually feuding with the Death Riders because the Death Riders made a rampage over everybody from Edge to Jay White to Orange Cassidy and the conglomeration. So very happy to see Jay White back. And I do have this feeling, because I mentioned this, and somebody mentioned this in the comments, I think we may get Jay White versus Jon Moxley for the Continental Championship at Wembley Stadium. I just have this feeling, because with the fact, even though Jay White has issues with David Finlay, because if you follow New Japan, it's interesting. But we're going to hear from Jay White a little bit later. But a quiet card, but who knows? We have big bonuses and yeah, we have this guy. This guy coming out to the ring, MJF, the guy who calls himself Big Hebrew, I guess. He tweeted, "You're done, blue collar bitch." What's wrong with being a blue collar anyway? Calls everybody schmucks with his diamond ring, fancy smancy car, just because he was one of the highs on Netflix. But here we are. Justin Roberts is doing the announcement right now, and feel free to put in the chat on what you think is going to be the outcome. I'm happy Mark Briscoe is getting an opportunity. I'm not mad at him at that, only because like he is beloved by everybody, and I'm happy he is getting a little bit of a taste. Oh lordy, what's this guy doing? He really wants to trash everybody's San Diego. Oh boy. Oh yeah, it's Jeffrey. It's gonna be a good match. But Boza, I think I'm happy with this match now because at Redemption, I have a feeling Kenny Omega is finally gonna be champion. Because with the fact Redemption is in Montreal, and also after he finishes with Mark Briscoe, I think Kenny's gonna be the next one lined up. And I have a feeling, as I said, it may be Kenny versus Ospreay at All In. But here we go. This match is kicking off the show with eliminated commercials. Mark Briscoe finally gets his shot for the AEW World Title against MJF. This is definitely going to be a good match. We know, right? I know, but I think because if you see that taped thigh, yeah, limited commercials. It'll be limited commercials in this match. And I'm ready. And you can hear the fans. They're cheering for Mark Briscoe. Obviously, well, nobody cares about MJF anyway. But, well, Jeff Metterling, not the winner, because we do have one more pay-per-view before we get to Wembley. And that is Redemption in Montreal. So MJF may have to defend it. As I said, maybe against Kenny. And with the announcement of them with NXT PLEs, okay. Yeah, it's just this match has limited commercials. Oh, lordy. Of course, MJF is going to bite Mark Briscoe's head. But it's going to be a good match. I feel like Mark Briscoe is definitely going to give it all. I know a lot of people, I would love for Mark. But I think storyline-wise, I think with MJF, it makes sense with the fact, as I mentioned, we just have to find out who's going to face him at Redemption. Because it is in Canada. Ooh. Well, it wasn't too late for Mark Briscoe to be busted open. But Mark's used to it anyway, so. But he's a tough fighter. He's a tough fighter. And also, I watched Jeffrey. She said I watched Forbidden Door on Tuesday. It was great. Mercedes and Maya World definitely deliver a good match, and I think Maya World's gonna be fine. And if you heard what Athena said after the match, I think them two are gonna have a rematch for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. And I think, because I know we've been saying this like clockwork on WWT Live, myself and Boss Lady, we've been talking about with Athena and everything else. I think Maya World could be the one to dethrone her and carry the brand of Ring of Honor, because I think now they know who the women they could trust leading and also doing a lot of shifting as well, which I love. MJF knew Mark Briscoe does not back down. It's a possibility, Jeffrey. And also the performance she had at Survival of the Fittest for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. And with the fact they faced off. And she also has a pinfall victory over Athena. I think Maya could be one, because after Athena's words post-show, I can see that happening. Oh, yeah, she does. Her and her tag team partner definitely have a great future, and I could see them leading the way over in the Ring of Honor side. And also, we could see finally Athena be on the main roster permanently and finally get her into where she needs to be. And hopefully she can become AEW Women's Champion in the future. And then this guy right here, MJF. Oh, boy. Of course. Oh, sorry. Hold up. Oh man, look at Mark Briscoe headbutt to MJF, and also on the commentary side we have Nigel McGuinness back. We have Nigel. Mark's face is so Mark Briscoe's face. I think he's used to having blood on his face. It's no surprise to me. He's immune to it. But I love Mark. Mark is great. He's so fun. Well, Boza, yeah, but I guess Nigel, I think with the fact too they're in California all this week, it makes a lot of sense. How long we wait, Jeffrey? How long? I think we waited too long for her to be on it permanently. But I think now is the time. It's the time. And plus, I think Maya World will be a great Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She can carry that load. I don't think anybody can replicate what Athena did, but it's time for her to create her own legacy at Ring of Honor. But what's Mark Briscoe going to do here? Over the top rope. And what's he going to do here? He got that chair. He said the show just started. I know, right? We just started and we have... That's funny. That is hilarious. That really is hilarious. I know. I'm trying to think if that's an all-time record, but he's gonna fly, Mark Briscoe. You can tell the fans are so behind Mark Briscoe. What's Mark thinking? He's really getting a table. Oh boy, he's really well. Well, no surprise there. Might as well give it their all. What's Mark Briscoe doing with that table? I don't know, Boza. I would say it is in a way. If the referee's is not ringing the bell, I would think it's no disqualifications in a way, which is that could ease up the list. Of course, man. Yeah, he hates little toys. Oh, here comes. What's he doing right here? Ooh, that was a nasty bump that Mark Briscoe took. Of course, he doesn't like the toys figures. I'm surprised because usually Max would be the person to do a table, but I guess he's shoving that back in the ring. Oh, man. All right, so we are in picture. And of course, MJF is showboating and just doing what MJF does best. So I'm pretty sure he probably thinks like, oh, this is something I'm going to do, but I would not sleep on Mark Briscoe just yet. And with the fact too, we'll find out who's he gonna face at Redemption next month in Canada. And also, by the way, too, it is Canada Day. So wanted to wish everybody, all my Canadians in the world, a happy Canada Day, which is nuts. But it is Happy Canada Day. So wishing all my Canadians a happy Canada Day. And I'm sure everybody's going to be celebrating with maple syrup, famous for Canadians. And I'm sure there's other food that's famous for Canadians. And also they speak French too. But you are hanging out with me for Timeless Elite Wednesday, the fallout from AEW for Forbidden Door. We do have the Owen Hart Cup men and women's champions. The winners: Will Ospreay won the men's side, Mercedes Moné won for the second year in a row for the women's side, and they do get a shot for their respective championships. So we shall see on that, and very curious on what's next for Mercedes at this point, because it's going to be very interesting, and we will talk about that throughout the night. But we are back live with the AEW World Championship. Mark Briscoe finally getting his opportunity against MJF. And Mark Briscoe, he's a tough little cookie because he's taking every single punch. He's just really punching Max to the limit. One thing I will say with MJF, even though I call him a jerk at many things, he does make his opponent look good. I didn't appreciate him giving a low blow to my guy Orange Cassidy last week. That's why when Orange Cassidy in the interview said, because I think he only met MJF, that's why he's scared. Boza, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. And he's on concrete. He's really going to do the J Driller on concrete. Oh, Marky. That has to hurt about concrete. That's really, really hurt. Oh my God. MJF, he's going to do a tombstone on concrete. But Mark Briscoe's blocking. Okay. Power slam on the concrete. I know that has to hurt. Bang bang, homage to Cactus Jack. I love it. I love that he does a homage to Cactus Jack. I love that the fans are getting behind Mark Briscoe for this match. Jeff Medley waking up by MJF. I don't even know how Mark Briscoe is standing after the amount of blood he's taken. He's still standing and breathing. But I give him respect. That's why people respect Mark Briscoe, because he is just tenacious and doesn't know when to quit. Okay, he's trying to do the J drill. Oh, obviously, of course, MJF's trying to block it. Headbutt. Threw MJF outside the ring. Or Mark and Joe. Oh my god, and Mark coming at the table. We're not able. Oh, and a friendly reminder. Because not only Dynamite's happening tonight, if you've been following the World Cup in the last couple weeks, Team USA is actually happening right now as we speak. So we have wrestling and we also have the World Cup happening right now. I meant to say that earlier, actually during WWT, but the World Cup with Team USA is actually happening right now. So what better way to do between soccer and wrestling? And yes, he's still setting up the tape. Ooh, Mark Briscoe face first on the steel chair. I'm just laughing at Tony Schiavone's commentary on MJF. It never gets old. It never gets old. Oh. What's Mark doing here? What's he doing? Ooh, that was a nice move that Mark did. I love that. Yeah, it never does. Yep. Yep. Okay. What's Mark gonna do here? What's he gonna do here? Ooh, he slipped. He slipped, but he's okay. I'm happy that Mark. He slipped, but he's okay. What's he gonna do here? Froggy, but poor MJF. He went through a table. He finally went through a table. Oh my god. I hope they show a replay of that table spot. That was insane. Quick kick out. And he has his boot on the rope. And that's awesome, Jeffrey. You've been watching the World Cup. Yeah. Last couple of weeks, the World Cup has been insane. And look, they're showing the replay spot of the table. Yeah, if you've been checking out the FIFA the last couple of weeks, it has been pretty much crazy. But tonight, Team USA is playing tonight. What's MJF doing? Ooh, thumb to the eye. But Mark Briscoe got a counter. Kick, punch. Nice counter by Mark. Mark is really definitely showing that he's more than just a tag team wrestler. Yes, there were some interesting wins in the World Cups. I've been following it on social, but it's been a little bit crazy. But like I said, not only do we have this, we have Team USA is happening right now. He's feeling froggy. Mark. Jay Driller. Oh my god, is Mark gonna do it? 1, 2. He kicked out of the Jay Driller. And I don't even know how Mark is still standing with all that blood. No, I hope so too, Jeffrey. I hope so too. But I think they wanted to start off hot with this match. And I can tell it's limited commercials. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't care what you say about Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe, we know he gives it his all every week. But I'm very happy that they're showing him he's a single star. Because we've always known he's a tag team specialist. But he's really coming out as a single star. And also the fans can get behind him easily. And also I noticed too, AEW doesn't have that many strong baby faces. I mean, outside of like Will somewhat, because he's a babyface. Will, Darby, Mark, Orange Cassidy, Bandino. Yeah. I also noticed they don't have many strong heels because outside of MJF, I mean, obviously they have Swerve. Jeffrey, I'm sure they're gonna clean up after this. I'm more nervous on who's gonna be the next match after. Ooh, that was a nasty bump. That has to be it. 3, and your winner, and still AEW World Champion MJF. Yes. I'm sure they're gonna clean up probably. I'm more nervous on who's gonna be. I'm more nervous on who's gonna be the next match after. That's what I'm gonna feel sorry for. But we shall see. And I hope, and I hope Survival of the Fittest is the main event. It better be the main event too, because I'll be very, very upset if it's not. But you gotta give credit to Mark Briscoe because he gave it his all 100%. Oh boy, this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Get your celebration, get him out of here. I know, right? MJF. MJF really wants to. I mean, you won the match. What more do you want? You won the match. What more do you want? You won. Oh, you're just upset because Mark Briscoe can be on the same level as you. You don't see it, but now what? Now why is he already? You already won. What more do you want? And now he wants to hit Mark with the ring. He really wants to. I mean, come on. He already. Everybody, who's that? There's Kenny. That's why I have a feeling it's gonna be Kenny versus MJF in July, and it's probably gonna be Kenny versus Ospreay at All In. Well, at least Kenny helped out. And oh yeah, Kenny's Kenny. Well, Kenny did say that. He did say that. I will say Kenny did have a good match against Zack Sabre Jr. He did have a good match. But I think they're going to meet at July's pay-per-view. He doesn't like California. Jeez, why you gotta call Mike trash? Of course he would say no. Why does he still have the mic in his hand? Did he just call himself Big Hebrew? Oh, Lordy! It's the same stipulation with Hangman. Oh, Lord. Man, same stipulation when he faced off against Hangman. Woo! And also for the match at Beach Break. I can't believe Beach Break is next week. That's a lot of high stakes. Oh boy. Kenny had a lot to think about. Still have a lot to think about. Shout out to VA Sports SSA for in the chat because he was there at Slammiversary. But same stipulation with Hangman for Beach Break. And loser graphic. We ain't TA. I know. We haven't seen. Well, Hangman's taking some time off. He's taking some time off, but you never know when Hangman's going to show up because I have a feeling he may show up probably before or leading up to Wembley Stadium. But it's going to be interesting. If Kenny loses, he can't get a shot at the AEW World title. That's what I'm thinking. And Eddie Foster, that could be something too, because Redemption is in Canada. I mean, it's in Montreal, Canada, by the way. Montreal, Canada. But you're hanging out with me, your PR princess, your timeless elite, Stone Cold Courtney, on this aftermath of Forbidden Door as we move on. We moved past Forbidden Door and on the road to Wembley Stadium, but we had a lot of news. If you catch us at WWT Live, myself, Boss Lady, and Honey, we had a ladies edition of WWT, and there was a lot of news that happened. Shout out to Zach Minier 916. Happy Canada Day, by the way. It is Canada Day for all my Canadians out there. But we did have it interesting on WWT Live. We did talk about the tournament that's happening on TNA tomorrow for the Knockouts TV Championship. Also, some TNA news that Eric Young allegedly quit TNA. So that was a bit interesting, especially with the last couple of weeks. People shifting around and people getting released or they wanted to be let go of their contracts. Interesting stuff happened. And then it's always interesting. Oh, definitely. Oh, Jeff. I know how much you love Mercedes Moné. And yes, she did win the Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament. But she had some interesting words to say during the media scrum on Tekla saying, like, I'm not afraid of a spider and I can squish it. I'm like, this is going to be very interesting on how creative and production and booking are going to, because Jeffrey, I wish, because this is like, we said this on WWT, it's kind of an internal thing, and we may not know the answer. We may not know the right answer because it's a business. It is a business. And here is MJF talking with Renee Paquette. Ah, he's addressing a Johnny, especially after what happened. He mentioned Cody Rhodes. Oh yeah, he did face off against Orange Cassidy once. Oh yeah, Orange Cassidy did face him. And you know the crazy part about it is, out of all the guys that he mentioned, he never faced off against Swerve Strickland. He thinks Kenny's not going to agree to it? Oh, boy. Will Ospreay! It's going to be an interesting road. No. Yes. Jeffrey, he did call him pale. That is so wrong. You called him pale. And he's from the UK. Okay, so we're gonna hear from Andrade, because if you saw what happened to the steel cage, Andrade attacked MJF, and well, he wanted out of the Don Callis family. So, and as Jeffrey called him, he's dressed up as Inspector Gadget. Anytime he comes out like this, I'm gonna say Inspector Gadget. Do 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 do. He does. Jeffrey, he does look like he resembles Inspector Gadget. Inspector. Oh my god, that's so cute. Inspector Andrade. Do 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 do. What's the question? He's gonna say, "How you know? How you know?" Oh boy, how you know? Ooh, and here come the rest of the Don Callis family members. I know it got over so quickly. I don't know if they have it in the t-shirt, but that would be funny. And oh look, here's that bald-headed creep and the rest of the Don Callis family. So of course you have Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Jack Doyle coming in. Well, Kevin Knight, and also with the fact too, Kevin Knight will be facing off against Leo Rush for the TNT Championship shortly. So I think it's a nice, good segue into it. Andrade. Well, it looks like first you kicked out Takeshita, and now Andrade. Oh, Brian Cage. Oh my God, the Fiend. It does look like pants from the colors of the Fiend. Man, Brian Cage. My day was really good. I can't complain. I hope everybody had a great Wednesday and getting ready for this weekend because it's going to be a busy, busy 4th. And let's hear what that creep has to say. I got something important to say. Okay, yep, this is what he says. Jeffrey the Peanut Bald Fraud. Man, threw Andrade out like garbage. He just threw him out like garbage. Well, as I said, Kevin Knight has a matchup next. He's facing off against the reigning Ring of Honor TV champion, Lio Rush, who's been somewhat of a companion of the conglomeration. It's gonna be a good match. And also with the fact too, Darby Allin hasn't forgot what happened to him. Because Darby Allin has not forgot what happened to him. But it's going to be a good match. And since we are on a full commercial break, we're just going to talk about the Women's Wrestling Archive, where our own boss lady has created this to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might think he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Support everything that you can for the Women's Wrestling Archive. Any amount helps. $1, $2, $3, $4. Anything that'll help. We're back. We're still on commercial and very excited for this match. I'm happy Lio Rush, because we did talk about this on WWT Live. I'm happy he is getting an opportunity. And he just created a character that was out of nothing. I remember at Revolution, they did the casino blackjack match for the AEW National Championship. And Lio Rush stood out running around like a little hyena, but his character soon developed. And I did follow it through Ring of Honor socials and everything else. And I'm happy he is putting the work in and just embracing that character, because it's something different, something unique. People are talking about it. And with the fact, too, as I mentioned, he's somewhat associated himself with the conglomeration, which helps. So I'm really happy for Lio Rush. And yes, Boza, shout out to ISBW and especially Vicious Vicky. I had the chance to commentate a few of her matches, and she's been putting extra work. So I'm very, very proud of her. And we may do a watch along tomorrow for TNA. Because with this tournament, I mean, come on, we got to be focused on this. So it might be, I did say I would be able to join for TNA, which I don't mind doing. But you never know who's going to show up, because I know my other siblings are doing the Kayfabe podcast, but we can do TNA. And here comes the Owen Hart Cup Women's Mercedes Moné. I mean, she's not wrong. I mean, you're still talking about her. I will say this, Missy, you may have collected everything. You may have done everything, but there's one lady that has beaten you, and she can be your little kryptonite, and that is Madam Timeless Tony Storm. I'm just saying. So you may call yourself the CEO, you may have all the belts and the recognition, but Tony Storm hasn't won over yet. And with the fact too, a lot of the other women in the AEW division may not be on the level you're in, but a lot of them have won championships. The AEW Women's Championships before you got there. So you can sentiment your legacy, but we shall see on that. But here comes Lio Rush. He is the Ring of Honor TV Championship. It's going to be so interesting. It's going to be a good match between him and Kevin Knight. But I would not be shocked if Darby Allin came in out of nowhere. Jeff Merling, we do not know. Oh, yes. Programming alert. Please make sure to set your DVRs and everything. AEW Collision tomorrow will be on TNT, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Simulcast on Max. Make sure to do that. It won't be on Saturday. It'll be on tomorrow. So please make sure to set up your reminders, your DVRs, anything else. And I'm pretty sure we'll get some matches throughout the night for Collision set for tomorrow. Oh my God, he has a backpack. Now, which AEW superstar has a signature backpack? Oh yeah, that's Orange Cassidy. See, Orange Cassidy gave everybody a backpack. The conglomeration. Jeez. Kevin Knight's like, I love Lio Rush. The fans are right behind him. But here we go. I can't believe he threw that backpack. Orange Cassidy's giving everybody a backpack. Oh, especially after what happened on I'm just trying to think, how was he able to be in that bag for so long? I love that the fans are so behind Lio Rush in this. I like it. What's Kevin doing? He's taking out the backpack. And then we have members of the Don Callis family. What's this? Is that the Ring of Honor? I guess that's his belt. I'm guessing that's his belt. What? Quicking out. Oh, he customized it. I love that he customized it to align with his character. I love that. I love that he customized it. Feel free to put in the chat who you guys got winning for the TNT Championship. Do you still have Kevin Knight still be in the face? Or could we see an upset tonight? All right, so the Machine Brian Cage is facing off against Andrade tomorrow night on Collision. It's charcoal. All right, Jeff Merling's got Lio Rush. Not surprised. Up to some people. I'm picking Leo for Rush. He says I'm picking Leo for what? What's that? What's he doing with Mr. Bald Peanut Man? I guess Kevin Knight's going over there. I just want somebody to punch John Callis in the face. That's all I want. That's all I want. I know John Moxley did it once. I know Kenny Omega almost beat the crap out of John Callis, but I need somebody to just punch him in the face because it's coming to him. You can tell there's going to be a lot of back and forth arson. I'm happy Lio Rush is scaring John Callis. I love it. Get him back here. Yeah, have him run. Get him, Leo. He had to run away. I love it. He had to run away. Run. Yeah. Tony Giovanni doesn't seem scared of him one bit. Oh man, I will say he's one of the rare guys that ever gave Pac a scare, because I'll never forget the match he had with Pac. It was just like, I don't think Pac has ever felt that sense of fear after seeing Leo Rush. I don't think Jake Doyle doesn't want anything to do with him. Oh man. But I'm happy for Leo Rush that he's getting extra the TV time. Unfortunately, oh yeah, well, we shall see. But as I mentioned, we do have Owen Hart Cup winners, and it's gonna be interesting, especially with the fact too, because I feel like with Mercedes, and if Tekla survives, I feel like Mercedes is gonna kind of walk Tekla through and get everything else. But Tekla can get inside your head. And I think this is one of the first few times in a while that the AEW women's division has a strong heel. And when I mean strong heel, I mean strong heel. Like Mercedes can pull off a heel, but Tekla is something that we need in a strong, lethal heel character. And don't be shocked if Tekla tries to get in her head and tries to like break her pride and ego, which Tony has tried to do. I know Jamie Hayter did when they were feuding for the during the Owen Hart Cup finals. It's going to be a very interesting road for Mercedes. I think it's going to be very interesting. And this is where the booking, the creative people are going to have to step out of their comfort zone and really put a lot in. But please don't put all your eggs in one basket into one women's match. I would love to see at least 3 women's matches at All In. That's all I want. I don't want to see them all clobbered up in a casino gauntlet match. I want them to make at least 3 good women's matches on the card that include a story. I mean, I don't want everything to be balled up into one basket. But that's something we're going to talk about, because sometimes I feel like, I don't think it's Tony really. I just think some people that are around him don't appreciate the women's roster that he has. And all of them can do big things. It's just, don't make one above the other. Get them to be like even on the same level. But we're back live with AEW Dynamite for the TNT Championship. We have Kevin Knight taking on Leo Rush. For once, I'm happy Leo Rush scared away Don Callis, but unfortunately he came back. So, VSA, my favorite female wrestler. This is very tough because there are many female wrestlers that I've enjoyed throughout the years. Obviously, of course, like, would you like to know, Jeffrey? It's hard to say because there's so many, from Trish to Lita to Jackie to Chaz. Obviously, Toni Storm is on my list. Jimmy Hayter is on my list. Alex Windsor. Love them all. Obviously, Willow Nightingale is definitely a must because she's just so bubbly. She's so smiley, but she will kick you in your face. So those are a few of my ladies in action that I love and adore. I'm so happy he's getting extra TV time. I love it. And I'm very curious on what his reign is going to look like. He sent that video to the authority. I'm very curious on what his reign is going to look like as Ring of Honor TV champion. I just hope he has a really good solid reign over Ring of Honor. And also very curious because I know Mark Davis had some visa issues, because that's why he wasn't at Forbidden Door. He had some visa issues. So hopefully we get to see Mark Davis next challenger for the AEW National Championship. Tony is here. Obviously, Tony is my number one. She's the reason I got into AEW. If I never had that encounter with her, I don't know what will. But obviously, of course, like Trish, Lita, they have one close to my heart. But obviously Tony Storm is number one. And then JB Hayter and Alex Windsor. Those are my ladies. Ooh, that was a nice move that Kevin did. And it's crazy. He still has if you saw what happened during the cage match, Darby Allin booby trapped one of the top parts of the cage, and Kevin Knight had fire blown at him, which that's not smart. Hey, Darby is not dumb as you think he is. But I know they're gonna have to meet one-on-one at some point. You thought Mercedes Moné was my favorite, Jeff? Well, when she first came on Sasha, I have nothing against Mercedes. But if you're talking about that, you got to talk about it with our residential mayor, who is the president of the Mercedes Moné fan club. But I do have respect for Mercedes in the ring. She puts on banger of the matches. I give her all the credit in the world when it comes to wrestling. 3, and your winner and still the face of TNT, Kevin Knight. I will say Leo Rush put on 100% effort. He did. He did. But he still has some unfinished business with Darby Allin, though. They are going to meet one-on-one. When? I don't know. But we shall see. Boza, I don't think it's about the TNT title, because I feel like Speedball should be the next one to do it. I feel like there has to be some kind of segue. Here comes Darby Allin. And congratulations to him, by the way, because now he's a married man. He had his wedding over the weekend, which is the same day as my birthday. So congratulations to the new husband. He's now married. And you need to see photos from that wedding. So congratulations to Darby. All right, cut the music because Darby's about to speak. What? Oh, Lordy. He's going to say important. Oh, we didn't kill him. Oh, Lordy. Criminal behavior? Give me a break. Oh, Lordy. Look at Darby's face. Look at his face. He's like a psycho killer. What's he doing? Jail? Come on now. Darby has a plan. He has a plan. He has a plan. Oh. There's Speedball Mike Bailey. No, I think Darby's going to be fine. I don't think because I don't want Darby to get the TNT title because I feel like this is more than that. He wants Kevin Knight, but I think could be a good segue for Speedball to be TNT champion in a way. He's still Jeffrey! Jeffrey. That's so funny. He called him a psychotic freak. Hey, he's a married psychotic freak. That's all I gotta say. And also, we have Tommaso Ciampa because he does have a match with Chris Jericho next week at Beach Break. He's yelling at me. Oh, man. Chris Jericho came from behind. I guess they don't want to wait till next Wednesday. Yeah, so Boza, don't worry. I think this is going to be a good segue for Speedball Mike Bailey to get the TNT title. I don't think Darby needs it. And also, it is a little flustered in the AEW World title picture right now. So I think it does give Darby something else to do. And also, it could help increases Kevin Knight's stock as a heel because Darby is so beloved by everybody. And like I said, it could be a good segue for Speedball to get the TNT title. Because I feel like if anybody should get the TNT title, it should be Speedball, Mike Bailey. What's he going to do? No, please! Oh my God. Thank God he was not going to jump in his face. Thank God. Oh boy. But yeah, this is gonna be physical next week in their match against Beach Break. Oh my God, thank God. I know, don't you miss parking lot for us? But thank God Tommaso Ciampa did not drill Chris Jericho's face because that would have been so bad. But these guys are gonna get so physical. Actually, I'm very excited for this match. Next week is definitely Beach Break because we're heading to the beach. And there's going to be a lot of physicality. So far, that's our only match announced for next week. We're still waiting Kenny Omega's answer. Because is he going to accept MJF's stipulation? Because that would be the second match next week for Beach Break. Yes, I'm excited for this. The TBS Championship Survival of the Fittest. Feel free to I know we're going to do predictions, but feel free to put in your predictions on who you think is going to be TBS champion. And we're going to hear from Switchblade Jay White after his return. But up next, we have Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay taking on the Swirls, Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. Very excited because the Swirls has been getting a lot of TV time lately, the last couple of months, which I'd love to see because they are a young tag team being mentored by Jay Lethal and everything else. We know, obviously. For some reason. So a lot of people put their bold predictions early. Boza saying Harley Cameron, Jeffrey saying Persephone. I mean, it's anybody's game at this point. It's anybody's game. It's hard to say for me because I feel like all of them have potential to be TBS champion. All of them. And it could be redemption for Kris Statlander because I remember the first time she won it, there was a lack of execution after she beat Jade for the title. And it's just, I don't know. It's very interesting because I still have some salty feelings when Kris Statlander got it for the first time and you didn't give her a proper storyline or something able to help elevate the TBS title, which made me a little sad. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind Stat, but they all do have potential, but I'm still a little salty from when Statlander won it for the first time as TBS champion, and it's just, yeah. But all of them have potential too. Like, I wouldn't be mad either way on who wins. I would not be mad either way at who wins, but you're hanging out with me. Question, who was the first? Oh, that's a serious question. Who was the first TBS champion? Well, Jeffrey, I'll give you a hint. She's on the SmackDown roster right now, and she put up the perfect storm when she was TBS champion, if you know what I mean. The first champion, and the inaugural one was Jade Cargill. Jade was the first. She did have an undefeated streak. She brought her sorority, the AKAs, on the AEW stage. So Jade was the first champion. And then it was Statlander. Because I remember when Jade was champion, Statlander came back from injury and beat her. Well, yes, Jade Cargill was the first inaugural TBS champion. And she was the longest reigning TBS champion. She was the and she was the longest reigning TBS champion until Mercedes Moné broke her record. She broke Jade's record. Jade, yep, it was Jade. She was the longest reigning TBS champion, but like I said, it was right before Mercedes broke her record as TBS champion. Now I need somebody to break. All right, so Miss Renee is in the Elite's locker room. Oh yeah, that little stooge right there, Brandon. I forgot his last name. His first name's Brandon, the stooge, and oh yay, it's the Young Bucks. Well, let's see what it has to say. Did he say 2 EVPs? We probably won't know right before the main event. So Kenny's putting it all on the line. So at least the Young Bucks still support him no matter what. At least they still support him. So it's very interesting with Kenny. So that's going to be ongoing. But we got some tag team action. Here comes the winner of the Owen Hart Cup men's tournament, Will Ospreay. Yeah, he has a lot to think about. Well, that is true, Boza, because they just, and you know, not just him, but like everybody around him in the executive office, they just didn't know how to produce her, which is really, really sad. Because Jade is a star, it's just how you position her in a way. And obviously they just didn't understand women's wrestling at that time. And that's why I'm very upset, because the way that they had Kris Statlander as TBS champion, it was like you didn't give her a proper storyline or serious rivalries. So yeah, it's one of those things. They did. Will and Swerve Strickland definitely put on a heck of a match. And that was match number 3 of their trilogy. It was 3. Well, we shall see, because, and I said this within last year, well, Ospreay is going to be AEW World's Heavyweight Champion. Yes, Jeffrey, thank you for that. She was 16-1 when she lost to Kris Statlander. But I will say WWE is positioning her as a star. I mean, sure, there's a few mechanics in there, and even though she didn't go to NXT and jump right into the main roster, she's still learning and starting to get more comfortable into the role. And she's oozing with confidence, because that's what you want. You need to have confidence. Doesn't matter what business profession you're in, you have to have some confidence in you. And yes, Boza, good old Uncle Dave had to put that in. And you know, it's crazy. Toni Storm has competed in the Owen Hart Cup, but she never won. I know the first time she came to AEW, she was in the tournament. And I know the other time that they did, she was champion. But here comes Jon Moxley, the reigning AEW Continental Champion. He put on a heck of a match against Ben Dino. Shout out to Hassan USA, Tubi Network, Terrell. Happy Canada Day, as I mentioned, for all the Canadians out there. I'm not going to lie, Dino and Jon Moxley had a one bagger of a match. And I wouldn't mind to see Ben Dino won, but Jon Moxley retained. That's why I have a feeling. Yes, Jeffrey. I think being a heel is definitely something that she's more comfortable in, because that's what she always does. She was born to be a heel, and I just say take it with the grabs. Don't let it hit you. Just roll with it, because that's what her strongest is. She's good at playing a heel. But I have a feeling. For his next opponent. I think for Jon's next opponent, I have a feeling it may be Jay White, because Jay White still has issues with the Death Riders right before he got injured. So we shall see. And you know what's crazy with the fact too, we still haven't found out who attacked my woman Toni Storm, because Detective Courtney had to take some time off from her birthday and everything else. But I think I'm not going to go too crazy with 4th of July this weekend, because it's going to be hot. Heat advisories happening, and also staying away from a busy shore and boardwalk, because now I have some time to do some projects, because Detective Courtney is restoring the case on who attacked Timeless Toni Storm. And there's a few things that we shall see. Well, here comes the Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. Unlimited. Shout out to Unlimited Production 1. No, it's not my birthday today. My birthday was last Saturday over the weekend. In a busy weekend full of wrestling. We had SmackDown last Friday. You're supposed to. I know, Jeffrey. I did fall apart, but I had a lot of things happening. But we're getting back. Detective Courtney is restoring the case of Timeless Toni Storm, because I do have a few thoughts. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Mercedes, because if it was, she has to pay somebody to do it. She has to pay someone to do it. Bring in Inspector Jade to help. Hey, look, I can bring Inspector Jade to help, because we are on the case of who attacked Toni Storm. And there's a lot of things that we could think about. But we do have a tag team match happening. The Swirls, Lee Johnson and Blake Christian taking on Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. Obviously, of course, we see Marina Shafir in the corner, and we see Jay Lethal in the corner. Yes, Jeff Metterling. So Lee Johnson and Blake Christian, as I mentioned, they're a tag team over at Ring of Honor, but they have made some waves in TNA, AEW main programming. We did see Blake Christian face off against Kenny Omega in television. We also got to see the Swirl face off against Bowens and Caster, where they were somewhat the Acclaimed. I don't know, but we have seen them make waves. I know Blake Christian recently challenged Bandito for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship, which was a good match, by the way. I was very happy to see Blake Christian really put in a lot of work. It was at Supercard of Honor, and I love that they do have a mentor in Jay Lethal, who's been in the business for God knows how long, and I'm very happy. Jeff Metterling, to be fair, I'm going to be very, very nice, because I will say this, because Mercedes is still bitter that she lost to Timeless Toni Storm. And also, by the way, Toni may not have all the success and accolades Mercedes has, but she became a multi-time AEW Women's Champion. She is one of the most over superstars in AEW. She also made the top of PWI's women's list in 2024. The first person from AEW to do that. And also, she's done so many things too, but she may not have all the success and the accolades as Missy CEO, but Toni Storm has created her. But Toni Storm has created her own legacy. And she defined it as the way she did it on her own terms. But hey, everybody has a choice. Can't knock anybody to that, but sometimes I have to put in logic in. Don't get time out. Oh boy. Yeah. Because, you know, that's the woman that got me into AEW was Toni Storm. And also, and I should have said this earlier, feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got winning. Do you guys got the Swirl winning, or do you have Moxley and Ospreay winning, or do you think there's going to be shenanigans happening in the match? And also, I need to go back to my bold predictions for a bit, because there were some bold predictions that actually did happen. By the way, I had one prediction that was right. Hold up, let me find my. Here it is, and I made it earlier in the year. Here we go. So my bold predictions. All right, so these are all my bold predictions for 2026 and looking back at it. So I did get one right. Konosuke Takeshita winning the AEW International Championship. I know not to play about it. Yes, I think Jeffrey, I can say this, a lot of people, especially on WWT, know not to play in Tony's face. But sometimes I have to be constructive critical because I love Toni Storm. I want her to be better. So I got one right. Konosuke Takeshita winning the AEW International Championship. But I have a few more bold predictions. I did put it. Jon Moxley will be betrayed by the Death Riders before the end of this year. That's my bold prediction. I don't know about that. I do have Kevin Knight winning the 2026 Continental Classic. That could be a prediction. Yeah, I have a few. But I have one right, which is great. Because if I have one right, I'm okay with that. But this is my bold predictions. So, and I'm staying with my bold predictions. So I did get one right. But we're back live with the tag team action. Blake Christian and Lee Johnson taking on Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. I think there's a reason why they're facing off against Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay, because John's the kind of person that he does see potential on who can lead AEW in the next 5-10 years. Because I know he and him, Kenny, they can't be wrestling forever. The Young Bucks have TR. They can't wrestle forever. So then you have to find out some new blood. And MJF, Darby, Hangman, Swerve, they all can't do it by themselves. They all cannot do it by themselves. And obviously you do have guys like Speedball and Kevin and Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita that are making a lot of waves. And then you have the return of the entire Bang Bang Gang. So this is where one is better. That is true. One is better than zero. But I think this is something where they're going to have to think about 5-10 years. So let's see. Okay. Kenny Omega announces his decision tonight. They just added that on the bottom left side. So we will see. And I think we may get an announcement before the main event. That could be a possibility. But as I said, John's trying to figure out, and I think that's why he's been doing the Continental. Oh, Jay Lethal. Oh, man. Jay Lethal. And there's Marina Shafir. I'm going to tell you something. Some of the ladies in the women's, geez, she just superplexed Jay Lethal. Oh, my God. She did superplex. She's superplex. Yeah, she will play in your face. She can take a lot of bumps too. But like I said, I feel like almost anybody in the women's roster could take her. Like we've seen her with Willow. I know, right? Crazy. Because you would think being his heels, but it's like, and I think maybe, I know, she teamed like it was nothing. I know, crazy, because, you know, everybody's used to cheering for Will Ospreay. They're used to cheering for Jon Moxley. Well, John's John, but that's what I'm thinking, because I'm like, wait, weren't they just booing the Death Riders? And like I said, we see Marina go up against Willow, Kris Statlander, Toni Storm, Mina. I will say, when she plays off against Kris Statlander, woo! I will tell you, Kris Statlander is a woman, is a person I would not want to mess with. I know Marina Shafir is, but whoo! Yeah, I guess they're doing the workouts that the Death Rider is doing. Marina's yelling outside the ring, go, go, go. Yeah, I know this version. Yeah, I know. But like I said, well, Ospreay needs to be very, very careful, especially when he's AEW World Champion. Because you don't know what Jon Moxley's going to do. And like I said in the end of the year, Jon Moxley may get kicked out of the Death Riders. And here winners, the team of Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. But like I said, this is something what Jon did, because when he sees guys who he thinks can lead 5-10 years from now, because a lot of them, the faces what I guess. I know he's already, but that's why I think Jay White may be the next person in line for the Continental Championship, because he still has some unfinished business with the Death Rider. So I wouldn't be shocked if Jay White, right before he takes care of his issues with David Finlay, we'll probably see him somewhere down the challenge for the Continental Championship. So we shall see. But I like what Kenny said, like, even though he is aligning himself with the Death Riders, he still cares about it. I just hope, please don't involve my gal Alex Windsor. Please let her do her thing. Because I'm going to tell you something. God forbid if Marina or anybody else lays a finger on her, you know they're done. They are completely done. I know Alex can take care of herself. She's a tough cookie and everything else, but if they lay one finger on her, they're done. Oh, look! Edge and Christian after their successful title defense. Oh, he owed Edge a favor. Who didn't have a serious problem with Christian? Oh my God. Who didn't have a serious problem with Christian? And yes, Jeffrey, Lexi Nair is a wonderful interviewer. And she can be yours. Well, you may have to talk about that with Big Bill, because Big Bill is married to Miss Lexi Nair. Oh, who doesn't Christian have a beef with? But he gave Edge a favor. But we're gonna hear from Switchblade, Jay White making his return, and then we see the members of the Bang Bang Gang come out, the Guns, Juice, Ace Austin. No Jeff Metterling. The ladies will be wrestling in the main event for Survival of the Fittest. They will be the main event, and I cannot wait for it. But we're going to hear from Switchblade Jay White after his shocking return of Forbidden Door last week against an old foe in David Finlay. Because if you recall from New Japan days, there's a lot of history between him, like David Finlay, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, they all have history together. And Gabe Kidd is cleared, so former minion. Yes, she was a minion in training, Miss Lexi, and she got kicked out, unfortunately. Let's hear what Switchblade has to say. And it's funny because Christian says he still has some harsh feelings towards Jay White as well. And getting a warm reception. Welcome back. 459 days. Oh my God, 459 days. We've seen the Big Bang Gang all together. Oh, Lordy. It's going to be very interesting. Who let the dogs out? Who? 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 Oh, that's a classic. Who let the dogs out? Gabriel. David Finley Jr. I love how he says their full names. Wow, there's some. You can still see there's some resentfulness. Yes, Jeffrey, Who Let the Dogs Out is a classic song. Who let the dogs out? Nepo, Nepo baby. Man. Nepo baby. Wow. Stench of your Yeah, it's crazy. We haven't had an Anarchy in the Arena match yet. We have not had one yet. Interesting words from Switchblade Jay White. Had some interesting words to say. Had some interesting words to say. Woof. It's going to be very interesting. Yes, about time we saw them on TV. I'm happy Ace Austin is getting a lot more TV time and allowed himself with the Bang Bang Gang. I'm really happy he's getting a lot of TV time. Oh my God, Shane Taylor Promotions? Oh my God, I love that they're on Dynamite and have a backstage segment. Yeah, oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be so good on Collision. It's gonna be so good. Oh my God. And also make sure to check out my siblings over at the Kayfabe podcast because they interviewed Shane Taylor on their show a couple weeks ago. And Shane Taylor really gave a great interview. So make sure to check out my siblings over at the Kayfabe podcast because they had a very fun time interviewing Shane Taylor. And I think this will be our final match of the night because after this, Kenny Omega is going to give his answer, which is nice to segue right into it. But we have our survival of the fittest. We have the cosmic killer, Kris Statlander. And she's no stranger. She was the second TBS champion. Yeah, make sure to check out Kayfabe tomorrow because I know they're gonna have lots to say regarding what happened on Night of Champions with Sami Zayn as WWE champion. But whoo, I love that Maika. I love that Stardom is definitely getting a lot more presence this time around because I know in the past, I want to say they did, but it was like there needed some more incorporation. So I'm happy they are getting a lot more presence and representation. And with the fact of the strategic partnership between MLW, and Stardom is helping. So I'm happy they are getting a lot of love and attention. And we're seeing a lot of ladies we haven't seen because I actually am enjoying it. And there is Harley Cameron. There she is. I love that she has the Supergirl influence because last week we saw her dress up as Supergirl. But I love that the influence is still there. Yeah, it's going to be the ladies' main event because I think after this, Kenny's going to give his answer to close out the show, which actually makes a lot more sense. And there comes Persephone. I know Jeffrey, he loves Persephone. You know you love Persephone. She's the reigning CMLL Women's World Champion. And I love that we do have presence from Stardom and CMLL. I love it. And here comes the Queen Aminata. I'm so happy she is a part of Survival of the Fittest. And if you noticed last week during her match, she designed her outfit last week. If you saw her Instagram and social post, she designed her outfit last week in her qualifying match. And I love that she do that. I love that some wrestlers get to showcase their talents and sew their own clothes, which I absolutely love because she's starting to do it. I think Jamie Hayter started sewing and creating her own clothes, which I love. No, Queen Aminata made her clothes. Not Shida. Queen Aminata started making her own clothes. And Jamie Hayter. But here comes Hikaru Shida, who is the ace of the women's division. And I mean, if you call her if she's called the ace of the women's division, she needs to own it. Shida. Hey, don't mess with Shida and her kendo stick. Don't mess with Shida. But this is the TBS championship. This is survival of the fittest. I hope they give him a lot of time. I hope they do give him a lot more ample time in this match. If you could do it when Ring of Honor women's title had their survival of the fittest match, I'm sure you can do it with this one. Because I want to see them really go at it. I don't want to see nothing cute. I don't want to see nothing funny. Give them the amount of time that they need. And I know earlier we had both predictions, but this is going to be eliminator style. If you saw Ring of Honor survival of the fittest for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, it's going to go by eliminator style until there's one person left. Well, that too goes up, but I think they should get at least an ample amount of time. But feel free. I know everybody put their bold predictions in earlier because I know somebody picked Harley Cameron. Somebody also picked Kris Statlander to win. But I think I did. I mean, all of them. I wouldn't be mad at any one of them to win. I mean, I don't mind Kris Statlander. Like I said, I'm so salty with the way that they kind of positioned her first reign for the TBS title. It kind of made me sad. It kind of made me sad in a way because I really wanted Statlander to be a champion. And especially after she beat Jade, it was like, well, it looks like Harley and Persephone or someone. Well, here comes Maika from Stardom. See, I'm happy there is a presence from Stardom there. It makes me happy to see. I just hope they continue the storyline with Tekla and Stardom throughout the end of the year because it does seem very interesting to see. And especially with the fact, too, with Tekla beating up on the president of Stardom, it's kind of fun to see. So I love. We do see a little bit of tag team between Harley Cameron and Persephone. You know, I did pick Shida to win, but I wouldn't be mad at any one of them of winning because who will be the face? Who will be the face of the TBS? And also with the fact too, I know everybody's I know everybody's a little bit ahead of me, but please don't give me any spoilers. I'm pretty sure some people is ahead of me, but please don't give me any spoilers. Oh my god. So we have our first elimination. Harley Cameron got eliminated. I know, Jeff Bennerling. Courtney, what's the status of it? Jeffrey, Minnie Monet is still active because I did see her pop up on AEW socials 2 weeks ago. So Minnie Monet is still active. She's not dead, but she's still active. Oh, man. Kris. Oh, man. Yeah, Persephone eliminated Harley Cameron. I guess Kris Statlander wasn't happy about that. But we are on picture-in-picture, and the match is still going live. So you're hanging out with me because we're almost at a close for Timeless Elite Wednesday. And very happy that you guys can spend with me on a Wednesday. It is Hump Week. It's right before 4th of July weekend. And as I said, if you live anywhere in the East Coast, pretty much everywhere. Well, I know near me, we have a heat advisory, heat wave the next couple days between now and Saturday. So please make sure, stay cool, stay indoors, drink water, stay hydrated, stay in cool shades. If you don't have heat, please go to a cooling station, or if you know somebody, please do it. So yeah, I know what I'm be doing this weekend. I will be staying indoors this weekend, and I'll be working on some projects, especially not just on WWT, but other stuff, because I think I need to do a case study on TNA, because there's a lot of things. I was getting ready to do it, but after hearing the news about Eric Young, I feel like it's time to take a little bit of a deeper dive into TNA. And also, we may be doing a watch-along tomorrow. I know we have K-Fib tomorrow, but we'll be doing a watch-along tomorrow because TNA is going to kick off their Knockouts TV Championship Tournament. So it's something that you don't want to miss. And Jeff Bennerling, you're right. Persephone can win the title. Watch Independence Movie while you're home. Hey, That's a perfect movie. Watch Independence Day with Will Smith. That's a classic movie. Oh, yeah. I know the feeling, Jeff. They always like to pop fireworks a little early. So we shall see on that. But please make sure to stay cool this weekend. I'm very happy to hang out with me. We also have Honey Night SmackDown. Now, I actually got to do Monday Night Raw, and they did a taping of SmackDown because they want to give everybody 4th of July off. So I'm not going to give you any spoilers. You're just going to have to wait till Friday. So I'm reframing from not sharing any spoilers for SmackDown. But I will say it was an interesting episode of SmackDown. I'm drinking water. Good. Need to drink water. Stay hydrated. Because this is a heat wave and this is no joke. And especially if you're doing outside work, do it early in the morning. Because that's what I did. I watered my plants early in the morning, right before the heat started to kick in. So that's the most important thing. But it's hard to believe after this match, we're going to hear from Teddy. And nice, Jeff Menderling, you're going to be a Honey Night SmackDown. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a very interesting SmackDown. I will say, Atlantic City showed up. They showed up at Boardwalk Hall on Monday, and yeah, it's very interesting when you sit there live as compared to TV. But we're back live with AEW Dynamite. Our final match of the night, we have the TBS title, Survival of the Fittest. So far, we only have one elimination so far. Harley Cameron was eliminated by Persephone. So we have Maika from Stardom, Persephone from CMLL, Queen Aminata, Kris Statlander, and Hikaru Shida left. And I did see Shida. You know what? And I've been saying this for the last couple months. I need Shida and Statlander to have a blood feud. I know we've here with WWE, even before I came on board, we've been critical of their women's division. And I think they have got it right, but it's just, I don't want them to put all their eggs on one basket into one match, especially for all in Wembley Stadium. I would like to see a few one-on-ones and some blood feuds happening. I didn't get my blood feud with Jamie Hayter and Tekla. Oh, that was a nice clothesline by Maika. Some of these girls from Stardom are no joke. But I said I would love to see a blood feud between Shida and Stat. I feel like that would be really, really good. Ooh, that was a nice technique from Maika. And Shida, she got her signature kendo stick. And look at Stat. She's like, ah, ah, ah. And Persephone took that kendo stick. Oh. I know. It's like, you got to give him a blood feud. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need some blood. Oh my God. Maika is eliminated by Hikaru Shida. So now we have Shida, Stat, Queen Aminata, and Persephone. 4 women. Who is going to take it? Who is going to take it? And Queen Aminata and Stat, Shida, Persephone or Kris, Mercedes and Camila, if you can. Oh God. Oh, Camille. I don't even want to talk about Camille. I would love to see Camille, but I don't know. Ooh, so next week we have the AEW International Championship. Konosuke Takeshita taking on Kyle Fletcher. I'm surprised they're doing this now until Wembley, because that would have been a nice blood feud. So we have a women's... Oh, so it's a women's casino match, and the winner gets a shot at Redemption, which is their next pay-per-view in July. So pretty much, ooh, I wonder who's going to get that. Ooh. That's interesting. Interesting. So we got some good matches for Beach Bash. Now I'm very curious how many women are going to be in it. And the last thing we have on Dynamite is Kenny Omega answering the challenge to MJF. That's the last thing after this match. Queen Aminata is really putting it to Shida. Oh, Persephone with the roll up. 3. Queen Aminata got eliminated by Persephone. Wow. Man, Persephone really. Damn, what if Persephone make. Actually, I wouldn't be mad at Persephone. I would not be mad if Persephone was a double champion. I wouldn't be mad at it. We have 3. We have Stat, Shida, and Persephone. And Kris Statlander in the way. Queen Aminata was eliminated, Boza, by Persephone. I wouldn't be mad if Persephone had 2 belts. I would not be mad about that. And also make sure to check out Boss Lady's interview with Persephone because it was really good. Yes, Maika got eliminated by Shida. And make sure to, like I said, make sure to check out Boza, true, but she's also in CMLL as well. She's the reigning CMLL Women's World Champion. So even though she's wrestling Ring of Honor, she has pretty much her main stage is CMLL. So, but she has popped up on. I'm scared Kris might eliminate her. Yeah, don't sleep on Kris Statlander. She's a woman that I would not want to mess with. And it's crazy because when we did Battle of the Brave, I was trying to find my seat. And at that time, Kris Statlander was being interviewed backstage. And I was like, that was a missed opportunity because that's one of the people I would love to interview. Outside of like Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter, Alex Windsor, I would love to sit down and have a chat with Kris Statlander because she's been killing it. And in the words of Toni Storm, what a woman! It's just the way Toni said it. It was just. It's just the way that she said it was really funny. But Kris Statlander is a woman, and she's a woman I would not want to mess with. Oh, I believe it, Jeffrey. I think it is going to happen. And plus with the fact too. And also, make sure to check out some of the interviews that are posted outside of Boss Lady's interview with Persephone, Pound Town Wrestling, that said, and our Boss Lady attended to. I had the chance to do 80s Wrestling Con, interviewing the daughter of the Dynamite Kid, Bronwyn Billington, along with Dave McGreca from Busted Open. And also recently doing MLW in Philadelphia. And also with the fact too, MLW with Shotzi. Mercedes going to be the first. Well, to be fair, I know Mercedes is back to back, but she's not the first person to defend the Owen Hart Cup. She's actually the second because the first person to defend that honor was Willow Nightingale. And people tend to forget about that memory. Now, granted, when Willow won, she was injured, but she came back the following year and did defend that title. Just want to be very clear on that. I know everybody says she's the first. I was like, no. Willow was the first to do it. Yeah, I know, Boza. It's really hard, but like it's in the record books. There's clips about it. There's clips everywhere. I'm not making this up. It did happen. So sometimes I have to be like, no. Willow was the first person to do it. You were just a second. But we're back live. Oh, excuse me. We're back live with our Survival of the Fittest for the TBS title. We have 3 women left. We have Hikaru, Shida, Persephone, and Kris Statlander. So far, Harley, Cameron, Maika, and Queen Aminata got eliminated. Well, Boza, I hope not, because like I said, I don't want to put all the blame on Toni. I wouldn't be surprised if anybody within the executive office has some influence, or they just don't care about women's wrestling. So, Shida almost scared me. Oh, LOL. I know, Jeffrey, you don't want your woman, Persephone, to be eliminated because you want Persephone to win. I love that Persephone is playing some mind games and trying to get settled here. But she is a woman I would not want to mess with. And not gonna lie, when I was at Battle for the Brave with Kris Statlander, they gave her such a rounding applause because she made like 2-3 eliminations, which was insane. It makes me happy that she's in a good spot. Like, she wrestled and she found romance, which makes me happy. Quick kick out by Persephone. You would think Kris would be a safe choice, but like I said, I'm a bit salty. I'm a bit salty from when she had her first reign and they didn't do much with it. So I am a little bit salty about that because they could have gave Kris Statlander a good solid reign. So, yeah. 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. Kris Statlander eliminated Persephone? So now we're down to 2. We're down to 2. Shida and Kris Statlander. My goodness. Oh, someone is going to be the face of TBS. It's going to be very interesting on how they're going to place Willow when she comes back, because it looks like she's on the road to recovery. She may be coming back during the month of July, allegedly. But it's going to be very interesting where they're going to put Willow. Quick kick out by Statlander. Remember when I said I was scared? Yes, Jeffrey, you did. Because you were very scared with Statlander. But it's down to Shida. Who's going to get it? Is it going to be Shida or is it going to be Statlander? Well, there's no disqualification. So, yeah, I would think survival of the fittest. There's no disqualification in this. So, it's legal. It is legal. Kris Statlander taking the boot off that belt. What's gonna happen here? Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, what's gonna happen here? Shida has Kris Statlander in submission hold. Somebody is going to be the face of TBS. Oh, excuse me. Who is going to be the face of TBS television? Ooh, an Ultimate Production run. You got that right. Because I wouldn't mind seeing. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a feud between Persephone and Statlander. And look at this. I'm not mad about it. But your winner and new TBS champion, Hikaru Shida. And the crazy part about it is she's the third woman. She's the third woman to hold both the AEW Women's Championship and TBS title. Well, Boza, 15 minutes is okay. Oh, yeah, she's the second woman. I don't know why I said third. You know why? Because Tony is a multi-time. She didn't win it. But Shida's the second woman to hold both titles. Because I had to think, like, wait, who's the third? But she is the second person. And here comes Kenny. Well, 15 minutes is not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, at least it was like not 10 minutes. Because if it was 10 minutes or 5 minutes, I would have been upset. But yes, Shida, congratulations. Congratulations to Hikaru Shida. She is the new TBS champion. She is now the face of TBS. And they better treat her as she's the ace of the women's division, because that was her nickname when she first came in there. If you're going to have her nickname the ace of the women's division, you got to position her as the ace of the women's division while also being the face of TBS. Yes, yes, Jeffrey. MVP was Persephone, and I wouldn't mind seeing a blood feud between Persephone and Kris Statlander, because we need to find out who Persephone's next challenger is for the CMLL Women's World Title. She needs to hold it till the end of the year. Yes, that is true. But I wouldn't mind seeing Kris Statlander wrestle in CMLL, especially with the partnership, because we did see a few people wrestle at CMLL, like Orange Cassidy, Willow Nightingale, Mina, Megan Bain. So I wanted to see more of this continuation. I don't want this to be a one-sided partnership. I want to see the flow and continuation. I think that's the idea, Boza, because Willow was supposed to be winning against Tekla. It's going to be very interesting, though. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes with Willow. And also with the fact, too, Mercedes is kind of like, I don't want to say put it over her head, but I think if Tekla does get in her head and she gets ambushed by the Triangle of Madness, she's going to have to find some support. And she burned a bridge with almost every single woman in that division. So this is where she's going to have to swallow her pride and really have to question it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, though, with the Casino Gauntlet. Very curious on what other women, because I know Willow is recovering because we haven't seen Jamie Hayter. We haven't seen Alex Windsor. But hopefully we get to see some ladies back. Well, Jeffrey, to answer your question, we haven't seen the women's tag team champions in quite a while. So, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes because Megan Bain and Lena Cross, it was a really good match between Thunder Rosa and Olympia. Now it's going to be the question who's going to be the next challengers. And I think it's going to be the Brawling Birds. All right, so they have the commercial for AEW Collision with the fallout for Forbidden Door. Now we're just waiting on yes, so tomorrow night on Collision, what matches do we have? Friendly reminder, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. Not TBS, TNT. So we're going to have Edge, the Guns, and Switchblade Jay White taking on Shane Taylor Promotions. We're also going to have Pac and Claudio Castagnoli taking on New Japan's Unbound Company after last week. We're also going to have for the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet, Athena taking on Rena from Stardom. And we're also going to have the demanded action, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. And we're also going to have, for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at Beach Break, Julia Hart taking on Maya World. And then we're going to have Thunder Rosa and Mina Shirokana in action. So that's going to be very fun. And we're also going to have Speedball Mike Bailey, Bandito, and Mystico taking on the Rascals. Ooh, that should be a fun trios match. Always nice to see Mystico on TV. And we're going to have Kyle Fletcher take on New Japan's own ELP one-on-one tomorrow night on Collision. And we're also, as we mentioned, we're going to have Andrade taking on Brian Cage from the Don Callis family. It does look like a good solid card. And I'm very excited. And we know next week for Beach Break, it'll be Konosuke Takeshita versus Kyle Fletcher. Oh, Lordy. I really thought this was going to be at Wembley. And then we have a women's Casino Gauntlet match for a title shot at Redemption, which is the next pay-per-view in July. Who is going to face Tekla? And, of course, we've been talking about it for weeks. Tommaso Ciampa taking on Chris Jericho. We kind of saw what happened in the parking lot brawl earlier tonight, and it's going to be very interesting. I'm sure we're probably going to have more matches for Beach Break announced after Collision. I'm watching Collision, and well, I hope you are. It's gonna, you know, it's funny. It's going to be a fun Thursday night because we have Collision tomorrow and we have TNA, so it's gonna be fun. Will Ospreay saying to cut the music. So wait, he wants to wrestle him more than MJF? So Kenny Omega. Well, at least they're still friends. At least by then they're still friends. But Kenny has to make the decision on his own. I know he talked about it with the rest of the members of the Elite, the Young Bucks. I know Will's concerned because he said he wants to face Kenny at Wembley. What does that tell you? Because I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't mind seeing Ospreay versus Kenny. Because you can tell there's a lot of history between these guys. Yep. Boza, I will let you know regarding tomorrow. Because I think we may be doing a special watch-along edition of TNA because they have the TNA Knockouts tournament. And you know that's something. When it comes to women's wrestling, we got to be on it. So I will say that. I just have to DVR Collision, and I guess I will DVR Collision, and I'll probably have to watch it on Friday. I probably can watch it on the same slot as SmackDown because I already seen SmackDown tape. So I may be watching Collision on Friday. And it would be funny. Well, let's hear what Kenny has to say. What is his decision going to be? He doesn't even look like he's 42. He really doesn't. Exactly. Well, he does look good for 42. He just doesn't look. He doesn't even look 42. One more time. One more time. I love that they're referencing Cody Rhodes tonight. It's crazy. He said yes. He said yes. Next week at Beach Break, Kenny loses. He can't challenge for the AEW title again. Wouldn't that be funny next week if Hangman Adam Page just showed up out of nowhere? Oh, I hope Andrade. But I said, wouldn't it be funny if Hangman Adam Page just came out of nowhere and just screwed Max over? That would be funny. Mwah. Right. Bang. So, oh, and here comes MJF. Something will happen to set up. That's what I'm saying. MJF, of course, he came from behind because he knew exactly. But I said to myself, it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious if Hangman Adam Page showed up next week and just screwed him. That would be funny. And oh, nice for Kenny. Kenny's not backing down. He's attacking MJF. Well, here comes security and officials trying to separate these guys. You could tell out of all the people MJF faced, there's like so much bad blood and he has so many people. MJF has so many blood feuds with Kenny, Mox, Darby, Jericho, Cody, Danielson, but these guys are ending chaos. But next week at Beach Drake for the AEW World Title, and if Kenny loses, he can't challenge for the AEW World Title. But I said to myself, it would be hilarious if Hangman Adam Page showed up next week. That would be hilarious. And you know the crazy part about it is, because I said MJF has not faced off against Swerve Strickland one-on-one. And it does sound crazy. Wouldn't it be crazy if MJF's not champion heading into Wembley Stadium? Do you think it's possible that we could see Swerve versus MJF at Wembley Stadium? Because a reminder, they have never faced off against each other. They've had an interaction, but never faced off one-on-one. Well, here we go. It's official for next week at Beach Break. Well, here comes his title. He's demanding it. But MJ, he's still talking off like an arrogant prick. Oh lordy! And then Beach Break is definitely interesting. Let the cameras roll until it's over. And I'm sure Kenny with a mic. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be talking about this later tonight. But that wraps up. Oh, sorry. That wraps up AEW Dynamite. It was an interesting episode. Describing the fallout. Some interesting stuff that's intriguing. Certain head scratchers there, but we shall see on that. But Beach Break next week is shaping up to be a really great card. On the beach, by the way, in Clearwater, Florida. So it does shape up to be a stacked card. It did what it needed to do. It's going to be very interesting leading into it. I think we do have some storylines in set as we head to the road to Wembley, but we do have one more pit stop, and that is Redemption in Montreal later this month. So it's going to be exciting. Congratulations to Hikaru Shida being the AEW Women's TV Champion. That is huge. I think she's going to do great as the ace because she's named the ace of the women's division, and also with the fact she is the new face of TBS. Oh, and nice. And USA is up 2-0 in the World Cup. So there is still time to watch the World Cup. But it's true, both they did it. And I mean, and I love that they shifted Collision to Thursday. So at least they give them the whole weekend off. and then they could travel the following week. So I love that they give the whole weekend off. So it's actually nice that we may have a weekend break of wrestling this week because, of course, we do have TNA tomorrow. We obviously have Friday Night SmackDown. Well, you guys have Friday Night SmackDown. I already saw the taping of SmackDown. So technically, I get a weekend off from wrestling, which is always good because I get to catch up on other shows that are happening right now, shows and movies that I miss. But anyways, it was a solid episode. Very curious on what the road to Wembley is going to look like. And like I said, I would not be shocked if it's Kenny versus Will Ospreay at All In because I have a feeling it may. Maybe we can see MJF versus Swerve at Wembley Stadium because they never faced off against each other, so that could be something. So there's a lot of possibilities. Lots of possibilities happening. So much is writing up on the wall. Shout out to Dirty Bird, Dream ER for hopping on. It's definitely a solid show. Few head scratchers, but solid show all around. I will definitely let you know regarding tomorrow because I think we may be doing a watch along for TNA tomorrow since they're going to be kicking off the Knockouts TV Championship Tournament. So we may be doing a watch out tomorrow. We also have my siblings, I'll wear the Kayfabe podcast tomorrow because they'll be breaking down Night of Champions, Raw, NXT, and previewing SmackDown. Very rarely you ever hear about AEW or TNA. So that's a whole conversation, but that's okay. You can also follow me on my socials at Courtney NJ11. You know where to find me. Have content on the round. I think I'm going to be doing a deeper dive on this case study for TNA because there's so many layers to this. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Also, with the fact, check out the interviews that I posted from 80s Wrestling Con with Bronwyn Billington, the daughter of the Dynamite Kid. Also, with the fact, I interviewed Dave LaGreca. And also from MLW, I got to interview Shotzi, which was really, really fun to do. And I'm happy that I did it. I did post an article on my recap of MLW. So there is a lot more content happening. I'm really excited to get the ball rolling because I do have a few projects on my belt, but I can't tell you what it is. It's still a work in progress. And shout out to everybody in the WWT team because even though summer is a little bit crazy, we are doing work. Make sure to check out the interviews from Pound Town Wrestling that our boss lady and said got to do. Doing amazing work. I know Honey did some interviews at 80s Wrestling Con. She's definitely going to be doing that. But we shall see. But thank you again for joining with me on Timeless Elite Wednesday. So you may see me tomorrow because, like I said, I may have to pull in to do a watch along for TNA. But you guys know where to find me. And thank you. Shout out to everybody in the chat for joining, from Boza to Jeffrey to Dirty Bird, Dream ER, Eddie Foster, Aaron Teagle, all of you for joining on this watch along. Jeff Metterling for the chat. I know, like I said, AEW's not everybody's cup of tea, but they are doing some good things and it's heating up on the road to Wembley Stadium. So thank you again for supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening and I will see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.